Howdy. How are you doing today? This is I don't even have an idea. 13th?
13, I think.
13th episode. We really have no idea. The second episode of 2020.
That's an easy way to.
We
know that.
We know that. I'm sure people, much like Netflix binging, are catching, like spending their whole weekend watching season 1.
They're well aware of what episode we're on because they've just watched the previous.
They've just finished. They're trying to keep their spouse up at night, just like, this is so good, we got to watch another one, that kind of thing. Welcome to the Omar Oliver Studios, in which Omar still not even acknowledged that we've named this fine studio after him. Producer Donald Sutherland with us today in studio, as he is on every Tuesday in the Trellis Carpenter building, this on the 17th floor. And help me with my point this way for our sponsor today.
That would be Woody.
That's Woody. I'm sorry. And so we're going to go this way for our sponsor today. And also, I need to thank the producer because, as you can well imagine, with this fine old machine, our producer over here just making mega bucks, working with this program. But he had to spend a lot of time last week editing out. Woody did not give us his. We're going to keep it PG. Woody did not give us his best angle, we shall say, last week. And so we had to strategically place some emoji smiley faces to keep our show family friendly. And Woody apologizes for that. But simply put, dogs don't wear pants.
He was so bored that he just fell asleep,
and we got the bad angle.
It's a bad angle.
Dogs do not wear pants. So that was our problem. We apologize for that. I thank you, Mr. Producer, for taking the time to emoji out my companion's area.
I was thinking about all the fine folks that we have watching the show, and they don't want to see that.
They're binging. They're probably, of course, and they watch it repeatedly, the same show over and over and over again. They're just like, I want to watch that again, and they're like, I don't want to see that. I want to see Woody's proper side, and
That's
so
right.
we're working on that.
So we've got him in there today. He's
So you can kind of see him on camera. I can't right now. Are we looking good?
Yeah, everything's fine.
Okay.
Woody, you're doing great. Thank you.
Thank you. Woody manning the controls and taking your phone calls today back on the motherboard back there. So just a couple of quick updates. So Twisted Sister, I don't know if I even got to that, but our sponsor today, I don't even know the folks at Twisted Sister, but they are critical to today's story. And we'll get into that in just a moment, of how they have saved me in a very precarious position that my wife has put me in. And so let's just jump right into it, because we're not known for our transitions around here. But what happened last night? Now, this is a true story. I went to bed last night. While the football game was on, I was just flipping through, reading. I didn't watch any of the football game. I did see it on Facebook scrolling through. That at some point in time, one of the teams was up by 3 points. Don't even remember. Went to bed not knowing who won. Woke up this morning assuming that LSU had won, because that's who I picked. And I
assumed correctly.
Yes, and apparently LSU put a pretty significant beat down on the Clemson Tigers, and Clemson, I'm sure, will find some way to find a moral victory out of this, and they have every right to do so. They received a rose at the final. I'm trying to make a Bachelor reference, and I don't watch that. I don't watch that program enough to know what in the world I'm talking about. So let me back out of that.
Are they getting married after?
I'm trying to be nice to Clemson folks, today.
They need it. It's a delicate.
It's a delicate situation, and the majority of Clemson fan base seems to be reasonable kind of people, but there is a small gathering, just like probably in any fan base, that you just want to strangle. All we need you to do, and now I'm going to see, I was not going to do this. Now I'm going to, all we need you to do is to say the following: no one on this planet is saying that Clemson does not have a good football program. All we need you to do is raise your right hand and swear after me. But because we played 12 regular season games of no consequence, it is easier for us to get to the playoffs. And because in all of those 12 games, your starters don't have to play in the third and fourth quarters, because you're playing a midget football team, you have less injuries, because mathematically instead of playing a whole game, your starters are playing what, Mr. Producer? Half of a game. And that's the simple math lesson that the Clemson fans can't quite seem to figure out. And so when you actually have to play quality football opponents and your starters play for a full football game, mathematically, your body might deteriorate more. And then your probability of losing is less when you don't play quality opponents. That's all we need them to say. That's all we're asking you to say. And they'll say, well, you're saying that we couldn't play in the SEC? No one's saying that. You could play just fine in the SEC. But you would occasionally slip up and lose a game because you will play programs that have like football fields to practice on, and you'll play programs that have coaching and recruiting. And when that kind of thing happens, you occasionally lose a football game. That's all we need them to say, okay? So I'm not looking for any Clemson guys to sponsor us next week. That's all we need them to say. So with that being said, many of the Clemson fans, to their credit, are willing to say that, and some of them just stick their head in the sand. And when you say, your regular season, you don't play. There's but we beat Alabama. Did I say anything? I didn't say anything about Alabama. I said your regular season, you have to play no one. Okay, I digress. So let's get into what the world really wants to know about. My beautiful, amazing wife has put me in quite a predicament, today, and and the controversy through Facebook is very well known. This is what she does to me. First of all, let me do all that. You have to do this because not you'll get in trouble. She's beautiful. She's wonderful. Great mama. Love her to death. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I've heard you say that many times.
Yeah. You can tell my heart. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So, wonderful, wonderful lady. So, she rarely goes out of town with her job. I'd say once every 3 years she does. But she is going out of town today and doing something. I'm just going to be gone for a little bit. But with that being said, she went to a meeting in which assignments were given out to parents in order, and this is the rifle season, rifle team. And so Neely's got her first rifle. I don't even know what you call the rifle. Meet, match, whatever, showdown. So, but apparently, I know zero details about rifle. Don't know what time it starts. Don't know if my daughters shoot. I know nothing about rifle team. Middle school and elementary school, you get daily text about what's going on in your children's life. In high school, all that goes away, which is fine.
She's probably getting them.
She seemed to know just as little as I knew this morning. But I'll be honest with you, she's happy. I'm happy. Not a complaint. It's reality. When in elementary school, like when your kids go to the swamp park for 3 hours, you have to be there with their birth certificate and a notary public and blood samples and all this kind of stuff. And then high school, like they can take them on an African safari for 2 weeks, and like that you'll just get just like, want to let you know we're going on an African safari next week, and you'll get like a text that says bring bug spray, and that's it. In high school, you get zero details in high school. Okay. But the one detail that I get from my lovely wife is, Clay, they eat meals apparently after the match, the meet. And so we had to sign up for a food. I said, that's no problem because, Brooke, through our marriage, we know what kind of family we are, and I know what you've signed us up for. There's two types of families, okay? There is you jump on the 2 liters as fast as you can, because we're not very capable people like bringing vegetables and meats and stuff like that. We are a 2-liter family, okay? We know our strengths and weaknesses. You know what she signed me up for, knowing she would be out of town?
No idea.
Corn on the cob.
Corn on the cob.
Yes. And so I'm just like, whoa, wait a second. We've been doing this for years. We're not a corn on the cob kind of family. We don't eat corn on the cob at our own house because no one hands it through a window in a bag. And it's just like, well, certainly you're kidding. You didn't sign up for corn on the cob. And she's like, yes, I just panicked. That's what she said. She just panicked.
I panicked, so I've signed us up for something out of season.
Yeah, that's not something we do. So here's what we are. We are the 2-liter potato chip family, and we realize that that's a weakness of ours, and we're a little bit embarrassed about it, so we overcompensate. Like when you do the raffle, instead of buying 2 or 3 tickets, we might buy a whole book of tickets, because we are the 2-liter family. And she knows this. So we've done the raffle where we anteed up a little bit more than everybody else because we know down the road we're not the corn on the cob family. That's not in our wheelhouse. She signed us up for the corn on the cob. And I was like, I don't know how to do corn on the cob. And by the way, if she was in town, she has no idea how to do corn on the cob. This is not in our wheelhouse. And so we have had to pay a caterer to make Twisted Sister, the fine people. And if these people will be listening, it doesn't matter what you charge me. They have a gun to my head at Twisted. I've got to pay for 50 corn. I believe they call them niblets. That's the shorter ones that don't require the whoop, whoop, the pegs on the end. Yeah. So my wife gets in a car this morning to leave to go out of town to leave me with what? A corn. We are a 2-liter family. Now let me tell you this, Mr. Producer, because we are a 2-liter family, we don't come in with just like a Diet Coke and a Coke and a Sprite. Because we know it's our weakness, we will wow you with 2 liters. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Multiple brands. Now, nobody in this world should want to drink Pepsi, because if I wanted Pepsi, I'd just let my Diet Coke go flat. Sure. But we're going to bring a Pepsi just for that weirdo that likes Pepsi out there. So we're going to bring multiple 2 liters. We're going to throw in like a random knee-high product into it. Wow. Because we need to overcompensate. We knock the 2 liters out of the park. Did my wife sign up for 2 liters? Negative. Did she sign up for chips? No. Oh, no. So then I say, sweetie, baby pie, who I love so much, was there other things? This is what she says to me. She goes, well, no, but not only that, we didn't have to sign up for Tuesday. We could have taken Friday. Oh. So I'm just like, whoa, wait a second. I'm pretty sure Friday, would you not have been in town? She's like, yeah, but I panicked. She panicked. She didn't know the parents. She froze up for a second. She didn't process the whole, kind of thing. Now, anytime, you have the spouse battle, I'll come back to work here at the 17th floor and I'll run it past the ladies, and the ladies always take Brooke's side. And they say, of course, yeah, just know, Clay, you're the scum of the earth. You're in the wrong with this. Even on this, I came back with the whole scenario, and the lady was just like, what was she thinking? And I was like, I don't know. I have no clue. So corn niblets, I think they're called. No telling what I'm going to have to pay for them. I have no idea. I'm willing to pay whatever it is. We are a 2-liter potato chip bag, kind of family. And my wife knows that. And she did not follow our kind of, that's a rule at our house. And she panicked.
Blatant disregard.
Thank you, sir. But almost, what they say, what is it? The key to marriage is that a woman needs to feel loved and a husband needs to feel respected. Do I feel respected?
No.
When you come home and give me the assignment of corn niblets, I only feel comfortable saying niblets. I just got to tell you, do I feel respected? And she says her simple answer is that she panicked. There was a lot of pressure at that meeting.
Wow.
So with that being said, and forgive me, I just coughed right into the microphone. I'm sure people at home appreciate that too. With that being said, I still love her. I've assigned her several demerits, for this type, but we can't have this type of behavior, anymore. But with that being said, I do have catered corn niblets, corn on the cob. Now, for those of you on Facebook that want to just give me the recipe for boiling corn and tell me how easy it is, I didn't appreciate that either. Y'all know my limitations. Tell me.
Put it in the comments.
You put it, yeah, and that's what on Facebook, when I ask, can any caterer help me this? All my friends just say, well, here's the recipe for boiling corn.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I didn't need that. That was a little jab.
Water and heat.
Yeah, and that's what they apparently tell me, is that you heat up water strangely and you boil the corn, and that's really, yeah. But do I have time? We 2-liter families.
2-liter and chips, it's a far cry from corn on the cob.
Mr. Producer, you get this. You're reading my mind. So anyhow, I need to cool off for just a second. I need to ease up for just a second. So if you could, we have been doing kind of the news articles of
hard-hitting news.
Hard-hitting news, which we're trying to bring. So once again, just a reminder, we're finding out that people today aren't getting their news through typical media sources. They're getting it through social media. So we want to provide the hard-hitting news. Mr. Producer, what do you have that we need to peel back the onion?
So here's the title. So this guy keeps getting a bunch of weird stuff from Amazon he never ordered. And it has a quote. It says, "I've made several calls, and I can't seem to get them to stop." And let's see. So this is coming off the holiday season.
No, this guy, I can answer his problem. He didn't have an Amazon problem. This is not going to help him. He's got a wife and a daughter. That's what his problem is.
He didn't know.
Yeah,
that he's supposed to be getting it, but he really.
Yeah. And they do the whole thing. We're like, oh, where did this come from?
We didn't order that.
Yeah, so I can answer this guy's problem. This poor guy, I can tell you what's going on. He's not been married very long. He's still living in a fog, and he really believes that when this kind of stuff comes, and his wife gives him the whole thing about like I have no idea where this came. Perhaps don't worry about it. I'll return it tomorrow, and it never gets returned. So these are easy answers for this poor guy.
Yeah, we might need to reach out and let him know.
Exactly, that would be like a service for us to do. And the next thing I can tell you what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen to this guy next time? He's going to come home, and his wife has signed him up for corn on the cob.
That's right.
That's the next step in this poor schmuck's life. Is he's coming home, his wife's going out of town, and he's going to provide corn on the cob.
Well, I would like to share his plea, though, his final plea.
Okay, that might help me with coaching him through this.
He said, "Quit sending them. I don't want the stuff."
Very articulate.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's he knows what he wants, and he knows what he doesn't want, and he does not want this stuff.
Yeah, he's got a wife at home. That's what's going on. Because let me tell you something. I don't know how, because I've changed all my debit card, my credit card, and
stuff just keeps showing up.
Yeah, I'm here to tell you. And I will go. There's something called. Hold on. This is the awkward pause in Radio Land. Oh, the shopping cart. I'll go to my Amazon shopping cart. I'm pretty sure I didn't put that in my shopping cart.
It's a mystery.
And then I'll mention in the presence of the dear ladies at my house. I've never seen fishing tackle in there. So it ain't Banner Thomas that's putting stuff into my, and I'll just randomly come up, and I was like, you know what? Strangely, there's $39 face cleaner in my shopping cart, and I'm just like, that's
suspicious.
That's bizarre. And then you just get these like stares off and into the space.
They didn't even hear you.
Face cleaner, what And what I was raised on to clean your face was a little Dial soap. Dial soap did a little magic, but I don't ever find Dial soap in my shopping cart. You follow me? $39 face cleaner, and but when I bring those kind of things, and I was like, how did it get into my shopping cart? And the CIA is helping Neely break into my passwords, I believe, because most of the stuff is hers, and then my corn on the cob friend, my dear wife. And so that poor man is having things delivered to his house, and the simple reason is he's married and still naive. That's what's going on. So I've solved a mystery today for that guy.
That's what we do.
That's what we do here. Well, we're gonna wrap things up today, and we always work on a title, but corn on the cob must be a part of the title.
It's got to be.
It's got to be. I mean, it's going to be the thing, and that brings things home. So just I normally do 5 things or something like that, as a summary of what we learned today. We're not doing that. We're going to stay focused. Here's our summary. If you are a 2-liter family, I know you're not proud of it. Look right here. I'm not proud of it. We're a 2-liter family. Don't sign your husband up for an out-of-season vegetable that requires a whole bunch of work. Okay? If you're a 2-liter family, be proud you're a 2-liter family. Sign up for the 2 liters. Wow them with your variety. Do not sign your husband up for corn on the cob. That's the end of our show today, and that's a lesson well worth taking home, Mr. Producer. And if you and your wife want to just cover that this evening as well, it will bring peace to a marriage.
Definitely.
Peace to a marriage. But thank you. It's good to see you. Have a great week, and take care.